Welcome to Behind the Kingdom with Johnny Gentleman, a podcast about drag kings, things, and everything in between, talking about the struggles of being a drag performer in a drag queen world. Hey y'all, welcome to episode 5 of Behind the Kingdom with Johnny Gentleman. Today we have a very special guest, an amazing producer, drag king and thing, just all around amazing, biggest, sweetest asshole you could ever meet in your life. Give it up for Watson Side.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be on the podcast. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry to everyone who's listening, but this is pretty awesome. I'm so excited.
This is really great. Just a TBS for everybody listening and watching. We originally recorded this together, and something happened to where
Chemistry.
it was the studio did not want to record the whole thing, and so we just went with it, and now we're re-recording and doing this podcast.
Take two.
So thank you, Watson, for taking more time out of your schedule to do this.
Anything for you.
All right. Okay. So for people that don't know who you are, I know who you are. Everybody in LA knows who you are. But for everybody else, please let everybody know who's Watson Side. What is your zhuzh? Tell them all about you.
Oh my God. Okay. Watson is full of riz, no cap. And just trying to, really get your audience to understand. Watson is a flaming homosexual. He is so fun, so goofy, just such a character. I also love doing other characters as well, throw some pop culture in there. But Watson is just there, for a good time, not a long time, maybe like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And Watson doesn't take himself too seriously, and neither should you.
Yes. So I saw Watson. I forgot. I think it was Exposure Drag that I saw you at. But yeah, I think that was the first time I ever saw you. And then it was like when you were doing the tip spot. But I remember I was like, this homie knows how to perform. And
you didn't tell me that.
Yes, yeah. I was just like, oh, okay, work. I like this. Because at that time, no, a little bit of shade. Some of the new performers that were very like cocky were coming out, and they weren't that great. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored. So, and then you popped out, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, that's my drag right there. What the fuck is that? There you go. You know how like some pieces will be like, describe your drag in like 3 words or something like that?
Yes.
What the fuck is this shit?
What the fuck is this shit? Honestly, that's the best way to describe your drag because you never know what's gonna happen. Watson does a lot of numbers where you just don't expect it. What's gonna happen? It's rather stupid. It's funny. It's also very serious and like it's just very out of the box, which I love about you. So like it's just great and fantastic. I think you're like one of the biggest underdogs in this whole entire community.
Well,
So I love an underdog. It's great. What's inside? Hey, it's I mean, you also did a number where you were the Titanic and then you had the iceberg like rear satisfy you and dolls came out of your body. None of them had clothes. Which made it better, I think. What the fuck is this naked doll? It was fucking great. Shout out to Bad Drag Race. Bad Drag Race is so fun. Uh, I'm so excited. I get to be their pit crew for 2 episodes. I'm so excited. Yeah. So I'm like, yay! Yeah, the all winter one coming up. It's going to be so exciting. If you're ever in LA and Bad Drag Race is happening, please go to a show. It is fucking hilarious. It's also very fun to be a part of. So if you like to be campy and comedy for all you drag performers in LA, go hit up Bad Drag Race. It's the best. Um, but yeah, no, I remember like I had you a part of my emo lip sync battle thing, and like you won it was amazing, and ever since then we've just, yeah, it was so fun, and like ever since then we've just been friends, and like you've become one of my best friends, and I am very thankful for that. It's been great. Yeah. But what but today the topic is of producing. Um, because of the factor that no one gives a fucking outline of how to produce shit and the stress of it all. So, except I had to learn by myself, and I think I purposely wanted to make this episode for people who want to produce, who are barely producing, who want to better themselves as a producer. This is all for you, this episode. And so my question to you is, what made you want to produce and why? A little bit. Mm.
I wanted to produce a certain drag show that was like a little bit more campy, silly, had really fun themes, kind of live out my fantasy of like, as I've had comedy themes, I've had musical theater themes because who's surprised? And, just honestly just live out my fantasy and have fun with people that I love, cast drag performers that I think are severely underrated and just incredible. I mean, I just wanted to have fun.
Yes, and if you're ever here in Los Angeles, please go to Watson's brunches and any show that they produce. It's literally one of the favorites. I love performing in it. I love going to it. I love just being there.
We
It's
love
just
having
very, very
you.
fun. It's so fun, and it's just very, it's a very safe and like warm vibe. It's just really great, and I think there's a lot of shows that I wish were like that. I think that especially in LA, we don't have a lot of drag king produced shows. We don't have a lot of non queen or AFAB produce shows
Yeah.
that actually highlight the minority groups in drag.
Hmm.
And so for both of us, we're very much about just making space for that. But it also comes with a lot of work and hardship because we have the respect of our community. The thing is having the support of our community as far as coming to our shows, promoting the shows for us. And so we have to start from scratch. And it's hard to pitch a drag king anything in this city when it's a drag queen world here.
Because they're like, first off, they're like, what? Drag kings? What is that? You're
Hmm.
like, this is going to be a really long business meeting. Let's start from the beginning. So Stonewall.
It's a Stonewall.
Yeah, you just have to go back in time and like bring them up to the present. But yeah, no, you're right. It's definitely difficult to you're definitely starting from the ground up. Whereas people, drag queens will go to venues and be like, oh, I want to put on a drag queen show, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, got it. Whereas it's just different.
Well, how was your experience? Because I have my own stories, but like, how was your experience pitching a drag king show, or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I was a sneaky boo. And I will say that like the monthly brunch that I usually have is a mix of kings and queens, I
Yeah.
equality, so I do this one, I wanted to have both because I love kings and queens. So I will say
Mm-hmm.
that. So when I reached out to venues, I didn't specifically say drag king show. I said drag show, which I think probably helped me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And the one that got back to me was like, yeah, they emailed me back and they said, hey, let's have a meeting and tell me your thoughts. And we scheduled it and I came in with a sheet of paper that probably didn't have much on it, but I was like, so what do you think? And we just talked. They were very nice.
This is Lawless, right?
Yeah,
Lawless
this
Brewing.
is Lawless. Shout out to Lawless. Love you guys.
Meow, 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 meow.
But yeah, I don't think they had never done anything drag related there, which is totally fine. And so I think they were kind of at the same level as I was, where they didn't have any preconceived notions of like, this is how we're going to do it. This is that. They were willing to hear me out, which is really nice. Doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah,
So
it
I was
doesn't.
thrilled.
I know for myself, like for people that don't know this in general who are listening or watching, I have my own Drag King brunch every month, and it's been going on. We're about to hit 2 years in July.
Woo woo.
Yeah,
Shout out to
but
Texas.
yes, the show is Dapper Puss. We are every third Saturday, hopefully every third Saturday at Mama Shelter here in Hollywood, which is actually technically the first Drag King show in general to ever be at a hotel, which is great for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Hey.
but it was producing that, it was hard because um within like the first year, like within 1 year, I think we had three venues, because one of them, it started off as a night show, and then me and it started at Red Line, and then Red Line and I, because of the lack of support of attendance coming to the show, I just decided, like, I don't want to hurt their business even more, so I will rather just like move it somewhere else. And also, like, I was trying to find a place where I didn't really have to hit a bar minimum or something like that,
Yeah.
but I ended up having to. And then I went to 10. The problem I had was they didn't have a kitchen, so I had to bring my own food people
Yeah.
to
I
make a
remember that.
brunch. And then, so I had to do that. I had to hire my own people. And then their bar minimum that they wanted, like, it's ridiculous, because 10, thank God it does not exist anymore, because it was redonkulous.
Yeah, I
They
remember
wanted,
you telling me about it.
so their bar minimum for big events was $10,000, which is stupid. Yeah. And then they were like, since you're a brunch, it'll be 5,000. And I'm like, what? If I have 50 people, they have to spend $100 on drinks. That's literally legally irresponsible, because how are they going to drive home? How?
Yeah, and
Like,
they're not providing any food either. It's not like people can like buy food from them or anything. So
exactly. Like, I would understand if it was 5,000 with food,
yeah,
but I have to bring my own people for food. Um, so it was just it was just unfair. It was a cute little venue, but it was so unfair.
unbelievable.
But
Yeah,
and it just sucked, because as many problems as I had with each venue, there was always a problem. Like, 10, it was like they wanted this high expectation of like a bar minimum, and I was like, this is unrealistic, even for a queen, I think. And also, they asked my friend to produce a brunch there, and gave her a budget, and I didn't get one.
yeah. I'm not
and
surprised. It's
and it's so funny, because literally that brunch she did, it had like
really,
two people. Like, right after that, I went to Sorry Not Sorry. Sorry Not Sorry was great, but then a whole queer vandalism thing happened, where like they graffitied the wall and all that stuff. Like, 10 was just like, we're gonna stop doing queer events. So and literally told me this like 5 minutes uh, before just my show was about to start, my last one there,
Really?
and was like, yeah, literally 5 minutes. They took me aside 5 minutes before and just told me you need to find a new venue because we're stopping all queer events, which is funny because the following month they had a new queer event and they have been doing queer events since. Um, so it makes no sense. Within 1 year, switching to different venues is hard
Yeah.
because, and there was many times where I wanted to quit as a producer because no one wanted to believe in drag kings. No one wanted to invest in drag king shows. And luckily, I'm very blessed for this. And shout out to Anna Goodman for hooking this up. But I was able to, thanks to her, and actually me asking for help,
Yeah.
um I was able to get the venue I have now. I think we've been there, we're almost hitting about 6 months being there at
Yay.
Mama Shelter, and Mama Shelter has been nothing but great. Even we had a slow show last month, and I was scared they were gonna, because the manager was there, and I was
Yeah.
scared that she was gonna be like, no, we're done. But instead she was like, okay, it was slow today. Um, we need to make a plan together on how to better have people come better attended and have more people come. Like, we need to work this out together. And I was so thankful for it because as a drag king producer, there's so much pressure on you that you have to make this successful or it's gone
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. It's
And
always such a fear.
ugh,
Yeah. No, I mean, well, because, and I mean, people always do this, you peek in the curtain, you see how full the theater is, but like, I would constantly before every show just be like, and I would put on Instagram, my Instagram stories, I'd put on a poll, like, who's coming, like as a lighthearted thing. But I'm like writing names down of people, like, okay, at minimum, I know that like these 5 people or these 10 people are coming, and like constantly checking. Cause I know that if it's not like as full as they want it to be, I'm always having that like gut busting fear that like, oh, they're not going
yeah,
to have us back. So it's just constantly like living on the edge, shitting your pants, and, fun stuff.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
I feel that for me, especially like, I don't get a budget from the location, but um, I'm okay with that right now, just because they have been nothing but supportive. Uh, now we're making a whole thing where they're gonna sell tickets on their side. I'm gonna sell tickets on my side.
Great.
They're gonna, and whatever they make on ticket sales on their side, they give me a check, and I keep all of the proceeds. So, which is great. Like I said, like, this is a partnership that I really appreciate because they believe in us and they love the show and they love working with me, which is great.
That's great.
And they want to invest in Drag Kings because they purposely said we want something different.
Yeah.
And it's just it's such a blessing in disguise. So shout out to Mama Shelter and Marie. I love her. She's amazing and gorge. That whole team at Mama Shelter is just
They're
so
really
shout out
nice.
to all of it. They're really nice. They're very sweet.
Yeah.
And the food is bomb too, so it's great. But it's just the belief, because as producers, I know this is actually a good transition to the next topic. It's not the fun topic,
Oh no,
but it's the topic of budgeting.
scared.
um,
Oh.
so the understanding that I think a lot of drag performers think comes into producing is that we are given a budget.
Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. It's a toss in the air, my friend.
I mean, yes. So my question for you is, like, have you worked with budgets? Like, what's your process about budgeting for a show?
So my process is I always, as much as I always want to have a budget, or sponsors, because, and it goes hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier. I always have a fear, and this is not always the case. It's not Johnny's doing it. A lot of people are doing it. But my fear is that if I start charging for tickets, the the audience size goes down, right? Less people
Mhm.
could possibly not come due to, financial issues, and I get that. So for me, I always want to try to go into, getting a venue having some sort of budget, because that way I can work towards making the show free and be able to get more people in that way. So that's the goal, but that's not always what's going to happen, right? And I've dealt with that
Yeah.
too. So you kind of have to balance that. But yeah, I go in and I have a budget in mind, but also the venue's going to have a very different number in mind, and you just have to be like, okay, because they will tell you bottom line what they can pay, usually, if you're
Yeah.
honest and kind. So and you just have to kind of work with that and tell them, like, okay, if your budget, let's say you're willing to give me like $300, I want to pay all of my performers at least 50. Let's say that's kind of the average around this
Yeah.
time. Like, okay, I can give you a show with like 4 or 5 performers or whatever, and then have this amount for a DJ or whatever. But you have to kind of figure that out based off of what they're willing to give you. And if they're not willing to give you shit, then you really have to figure out, okay, how much do I want people to have to pay for tickets? And based off of, let's say, if I get an average of this many people, sorry, math, like how many performers can I afford to pay without going into my own pocket and stuff like that? It's very complicated and really annoying, and I hate it.
I hate math in general.
I hate math too. I really do. No, math is terrible. And I mean, I didn't go to college, and you went to college for film. So
I went to college for film and television.
we're not
We
doing
did not.
with math.
I did not get my business degree like my sister did. Okay, I did not do that. My thing with budgeting is, like you said, like you go to the path of like, you want a free event, so you ask for a budget for the venues, which is great. Every producer has their own method of trying to find a budget or trying to establish a budget to invest or at least raise up for the payment of their talent.
Yeah.
And so for me, I charge at the door because the experience I've had with venues is it's like, okay, well, like one venue is like, okay, so we'll give you 20% of sales that we make that night. That could range from $25 to like $300 depending on how much crowd is there.
Yeah.
So it either or it's still not enough, and you to have that pressure to hit, for 300, I don't know how to math, but 300 as a percentage of like 20%, I'm guessing is like having to make about like 1200 in sales.
Yeah.
So that's very hard, especially when, on the previous episode I talked to Tuna, and a lot of people only have the capacity to spend at least minimum $25 at a show,
Right.
and
And that's not even
so
tips and stuff like that. Like it's so much, and you're constantly at the whim of
mhm,
the amount of people you bring in, whether you're doing it based off of a percentage of bar sales or tickets, right? You don't know the amount that you are going to receive. It's solely based off of how many people you can bring in, how much they drink, how many people pay for tickets. Like that's the reason I tend to go, or at least again try. This doesn't always happen, but I try to get a budget, because it's like I know that I'm going to have this much money to do what I need to do.
yeah.
Whereas being at the whim of other people can be really scary for me, and I don't have the right meds for that. So no,
uh,
yeah,
no, it's very scary because like I said, like the blast Dapper Plus in February. um I get it. It was the weekend after Valentine's Day. Like, it was that weekend of, I guess. I don't know. Valentine's Day was like on a Wednesday and it was on a Saturday. But, it was a rainy day. So I guess, like, I get it. Like, people didn't want to come or whatever.
yeah.
But, we had about like barely 10 people. So with 10 people and that being $10 like a person, I made $100 that night,
Yeah.
like that day. And I had to pay, oh, I think I had to pay like 300 in talent that day. So, it's hard. It's hard to, because I have to pay that out of my own pocket. And
Yeah.
the struggle is like, I think a lot of people, a lot of people vocalize, that like spaces need to get budgets and they should start providing proper budgets for talent, for these shows. And I agree to that to an extent. Um, just because I would love to get a budget. I hope to get a budget one day. The problem I have right now is, at least in my experience, is it's hard to convince a location to give me a budget without giving me a quote unquote trial run.
Yeah. I know. And I've had, I did this, I mean, I did this with Lawless, but also with, when I did the Watson's Willies at Alamo. Shout out to them. It was really nice. They gave me a small budget to work with, but basically said like, hey, if you're able to bring in a bunch of people and we want to keep this going, like we're happy to come back and renegotiate for more. So it's like I do feel that like then you should at least try to give like a little something, doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a ton. It could just be $100 your way to help you out, but yeah, that was something that was nice where it was like we'll give you a little bit for a trial period, and then should it be going well, we'll bump it up. And
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
And yeah, for me, honestly, I'm at a point where right now I'm like, I literally will take, you just pay my DJ.
Yeah.
If you can pay my DJ, great. Like, that is so much, like, people don't realize that is so much off my plate
Yes.
because the DJ is more expensive than the performers sometimes. And
Yeah.
it's just like, Jesus Christ, can you just play my DJ? Like, I don't, just pay them. Just pay them. I just I don't, if you pay that, I'm totally fine with everything else. But
Yeah.
if you can pay my DJ, that'd be fucking fierce. Um just because, like, that's what, like, depending on the DJ, that could be like 75 to 150 to pay off your DJ. And that is so much money that you save as a producer that you can also
Oh,
invest
100%. Like if
into
you're
like
just
a
like
bigger
paying an
talent.
art person,
For any venues listening to this, if you have the capacity to invest in the shows that you have there, and you don't want to give them if people, I understand if people want to give, like, ask for a crazy ass budget, but like, if if you think it's worth investing into the show, like, I think the best way to keep a sense of loyalty and a sense of hardworking relationship between the both of you, between the producer and the venue, is for the venue to, if you can, even just pay the DJ, um, or invest any kind of money to help out, promote the show as much as possible.
yes.
I think that's a problem also that we can talk about right now. The understanding that both venues and artists that are a part of the show um, should make it a priority to promote as much as the production does.
100%. Venues need to promote. This is a constant struggle. Like, I understand that, like, we're the ones producing the show, so it's like 90% on us, but like, you got to give 10%, please, for the love of God. Promote.
Also, it's like, yeah, promote as much as possible. Like, venues have a loyalty customer base,
Yeah.
so it, like, the least you can do is promote it on yourself and be like, hey, there's this event, if you are down to come. Like, you can even make specials if they come to the show if you wanted to. And venues, this is the problem I've always had, where I've had venues be like, hey, the sales are low. Um, can you promote? I had this at 10 asked me, can you ask people to buy more drinks because we're not getting enough sales? And it's like, okay, well, I could have gotten you more sales if you had invited more people to this event and put it on your newsletter, promote 2 weeks before, not a week before. Venues, not a week before.
Right.
No.
And it's like you have social medias, you have a website, some like venues have mailing lists, like put it up. There's things you can do. And also I remember 10 too. And I think you had a vendor that would come, but like I remember I went to a couple shows there and like the only sober option they had was a Coke. So I'm like, first of all, just alienated like half of your customers. But sorry, I digress. But yes, please, for venues, it's also on you to, because I always send my my venues the flyers. So it's like, put them up. I'll give you a stack. Put them on your venue. Put them outside. Put it on your social media. I'm making all the promotional material, which I'm happy to do. So put it up, please.
Yeah. And it also goes to the artists that are being booked. I know I've had this experience with some talent where they don't promote, and if they promote, they'll promote like once like 2 days before, 3 days before, the week of, like promote like twice. And it, what that says to me as a producer is I don't care about this production. I'm just here for the money, which great. If you want to do that, that's great. But that, just know that like me seeing you like that makes you unbookable for me.
Yeah.
Because it just shows that you have no consideration for the production, the hard work that people are doing to make this production happen. But also, if you complain that why isn't there enough people, well, honey, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You're part of the problem.
100%. I mean, I book people that are talented, that are sweet, but I also want to book people that I know will at least try to bring people and promote. Because if you don't, it makes us have to be the assholes and like put in the group chat, like everyone, please keep promoting because it is so important. To put it everywhere.
Everywhere. I tell people, I'm like, because my show is based off of attendance. Like, so I don't mean to be a dick about it, but I remind everybody in the chat, hey guys, please keep promoting. Please invite your friends. Please tell them to buy tickets in advance. So that, because what that does to me is it helps me get a count of how many people are coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can vocalize, because some venues, they ask, hey, how many people are you having, so I can have a proper amount of cast and crew to have on for your event.
Yep.
So the more, so if we ask you to buy pre-sale, most likely it's for that reason. It's for our safe of mind. Hey, this amount of people are coming. Oh, okay, great. I can pay my performers. Fuck yes. Oh my god, that's so much off my plate. But also it is to keep the professional relationship with me and my venue, to be like, hey, we're gonna have this amount of people, and giving them an update every time like people start buying tickets.
Yeah.
And because the venues see the attendance, and the attendance is what keeps our shows there. And so like, so the way you as a performer can contribute to not only supporting a drag king produced show, but also to keep the show, a drag king show, alive and in support of that, is by the simplest thing as putting it on your social media, putting it onto promoting it onto any Facebook groups that you're a part of. Put it on your Tinder. Put it on your fucking Grinder. Whatever the fuck. I put it on everything. I literally had a drag queen put the fucking brunch on her Grinder.
So iconic. I mean, icon. I want them in my.
And literally was like, buy a ticket and come over and we'll see what happens. And like some people came.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing as a producer. I hear that and I'm like, oh, I want to book that person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it shows and it helps because, like, yeah, that's how we make our money, and it's also how you make your money. The more people, the more tips, the more people in your videos to put on your social media, all looking up at you and being like, oh my god, they're so cool. It helps. So like, it's such an important thing to us as producers.
Yeah, and it also just shows what kind of person you are
Mhm.
and how much of a team player you are. Like, I think a lot of drag, like, if there's any new baby kings or drag performers listening to this, please, one big note, big note that I hope you get out of this episode specifically is if you're booked on a show, promote the shit out of it because if, and mean it with like love and support because I personally rather take a performer that supports my show than a performer that's like skilled and talented that does not give a shit about the show.
Yep, literally 100%. I agree to the fullest. Yeah, don't care
Yeah.
about talent. Honestly, at the end of the day, if you don't give a crap about me or my show or the rest of the cast, arrivederci.
Yeah, just you're unbookable. That's just how it is. So, the whether you're skilled or not, whether you've done this for years or barely started, the biggest thing to get out of this episode is please, if you're a part of a show, fucking promote the shit. These producers are most likely working their asses off to like make this happen and to actually try to pay you on time properly. And if there's producers out there that don't try to do that, then that's a them problem. And maybe you shouldn't be a part of that show. The actions of promoting shows that you're a part of and showing support of the producers like will get you a long way.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it really is all about how you treat people as well, and showing up on time, promoting, being nice in the group chats with a little bit of shade and sass, and just yeah, just being professionals. I mean, we're drag performers. Professional, I use that term very loosely, but just being there, showing up, doing what's necessary of you, putting in profile pictures, promoting, sending Venmos, helping out when you can, getting there at the actual call time. Please, I'm looking at you, queens. Um, and yeah, just being kind, respectful, and doing your best out there. That's really all I care about personally.
Yeah. I mean, I agree to all that. And also, if you're going to be fucking late, make sure you're beat already. Make sure you just need to put a fucking outfit on because trust me, I've been that talent that I'm like, look, hey, I'm not going to make it to call time, but guess what? My face is beat.
Yeah,
It's
do
done.
it in the Uber.
It's ready to
I
go.
don't care.
I do it in the car. I've actually done it in a subway before in New York. Beat my face in a subway. Like I do not care.
Yep.
And it's just, like I've done it on a train. I've done it all
On
over.
a plane.
So that way so honestly, yeah, I've actually done it on a plane. Um but I make sure to like at least all I have to do when I get there is just put my mustache and my eyebrows and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to do when I get there and put my clothes on. That's all I have to worry about. And I try and another big thing is if you're going to be late to any event that you're booked at, please let the producer know if anything happens. Let them know if you can't make it. Let them know at least the day before if you can't make it to the show. If an accident happens before the show, let me know as soon as it happens.
I know that's another really tough thing, and I understand because I've been the person who's like heading to a show, and I'm like, wow, I'm coming from the valley, and traffic is fucking awful. Like I will be there, but you let people know, like, hey, this is my ETA, sorry, I'm like, I'm on my way, I'll be ready to go, like, no biggie. But it's kind of tough when it's like last minute. And I know that you were actually, for one of my Lawless shows, the one that you were in, the person dropped out, and like, no hate to them at all, but they dropped out like maybe like 2 hours before. And luckily
Mm-hmm.
you just had nothing to do that day. But it's, it's like 2 hours before, please tell me earlier. Like, for the love of God, like,
Yeah.
please. It's really, because it just stresses me out. And then, I have to take like 6 Tums and call Johnny. So,
Yeah. just just so just so you know, it's very convenient for Watson whatever has happened, because we live very close to each other,
yeah.
and also Lawless is literally 5 minutes away from
Yeah.
us.
That's
So for me,
so I will.
so it's just like, look, I could put my face on, go get there. I'll be a little late, but I'll get there.
No, you were great. I mean, I literally just texted you like, hey, fat chance, but do you, like, would you be available? Because it was just, that was really funny. But that just takes me to a small side note is like, when I've been looking for venues, I've been looking for them like pretty close to where I live. They don't have to be 5 minutes away. 10, 15 is fine. But like, it's a good thing because it's like, if I forget stuff right back home, if I need to
Hmm.
grab Johnny, perfect. I'm like, I will not I will not get a venue that's like more than 10 minutes away from Johnny for this reason. But it's true. Find one close to you.
Yeah, honestly, like Mama Shelter is like 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
So it's just so convenient, because if I forget anything, I'm just like, you know what, I can just go drive real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's like,
I
yay,
love being so close.
amazing. It's so good. But all right, cool. So one of the last questions that we have, because we're running out of time, is
Oh,
I know it's very sad.
so sad.
Uh It's very sad, but I'm loving this conversation so much, and I'm glad. I hope this is useful to anybody listening, anybody watching. This is the deals that we have to deal with, and we talk about this actually all the time, about the hardships of this. So thank you for getting on this call, and recording for this. But the question I have for you, one of the last questions, is what is your advice for anybody that wants to start producing their own show? King, anything?
Obviously,
What?
don't. I don't need the competition. But uh, I think if you're going to start producing, do it for the right reasons. I can't tell you what the right
Mm-hmm.
reasons are. To be honest, it's personal to you. But don't do it like the man down the street at the Comedy Chateau who just bought a comedy club because he wanted to be able to do comedy somewhere because no one else would book him. Yeah, I'm calling you out. You know who you are. Sorry, it's a side note. Do it, because you want to strengthen the community. Do it because you have a very creative idea of what you want to see and you want to help put that out there and show the world what you got and what other people got. And be aware that like you have to kind of be in. I don't want to say you have to be in a good financial place, but understand that like sometimes you're gonna have to pay out of pocket, and you have to be in a position where you're able to do that, or at least have someone to cry on while you do that. And yeah, understand that it's not like you're not gonna go to a venue and they're gonna be like, yeah, absolutely, $5,000 a show, sure, because look at us. And yeah, just understand that there's difficulties with it. You're not going to rise to the top right away. I mean, I hope you do. I think both Johnny and I hope that people like surpass us as fast as they possibly can. But it's a difficult journey to the top. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. You're going to go into see venues who have been doing this for a while and are like, this is what we've been doing for 5,000 years and you're going to do it too. And then there's going to be venues that
Mm-hmm.
have never heard of drag kings or maybe queens or maybe gay people. And they're going to be like, what? Huh? You just have to understand that there's just such a wide variety and of knowledge and what people are willing to do. And please go into it with as low of expectations as you possibly can. I know that's depressing to say, but do it and just understand that it's hard and life sucks sometimes. Keep persevering. keep doing it. And if you need anything, me and Johnny are 5 minutes away from each other and we'll help you.
Yes. Also, yeah, we're our DMs are always open for sure. Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, I think the most important thing that I would say is something that I try to make on my show, and luckily people have validated it, which makes me really, really happy. Is make it a show, make it a space that is purposely and actively inclusive to making everybody feel welcome, whether they're straight, whether they're trans, whether they're, lesbian, whatever they queer identify. Like, it is a welcome experience for everybody. I know for myself, I try to make Dapper Puss as inclusive as possible. I try to book it where at least half of the cast is BIPOC,
Yeah.
half of the cast is trans, and I try to make it where we're highlighting the purpose of Dapper Puss for me at least, as I advertise it as a drag king brunch because it is drag king dominated.
Yeah.
I usually have one or two queens as cast, but it's because and I get judged for it all the time. Get judged for it all the time. People try to tell me, well, one person specifically tried to tell me that it's not. It's they know who they are. It's fine, but they said that my brunch is not a drag king brunch because it has queens in it. The thing is my purpose for it is to have it be a show where it's king dominated and the token people in it are queens.
Love that.
And so it's a reverse of it.
Role reversal. Love
And
it.
and the thing is, the queens that I book love that. They love to be that factor because what they love to do is, and this is what they have publicized like to me and told me about, is like they're like, I don't even go for the pay. Like, I just love performing in Dapper Puss because they love seeing the drag king talent that they get to work with. Like, the kings and the queens actually get to know each other. They establish a friendship together, and like there's been great times where they have actually like helped each other get bookings. And the great thing about Dapper Puss for me is like I've been told, like, drag queens have told me, you are the only person that is willing to book me here, and you gave me that first paid spot. And being a drag king, giving that to a queen, it's like, well, yeah, because it's my way forward. Because when I started drag, the ones that were actually being supportive of me when I started doing drag were queens.
Yeah.
I didn't have any drag kings supporting me for a while. Uh, and then, so this is my homage to them, of like a thank you that I want to give to, specifically like queens of color that are not being seen or not being, not given that chance to express themselves that way. But that's the purpose of Dapper Puss, and anything that I ever produce is just to include um, many different forms of queerness and human in general, to where you can bring your kids. Dapper Puss is an all ages show. I purposely made it like that so that way queer youth can come, bring their friends. If they want to perform, they can perform. um it could be a safe space for them to hang out, for anybody to just be themselves. It's very sober friendly. The venue has like mocktails that are really delicious, and so everybody feels seen. And I did it because even now I don't feel comfortable in a lot of like sapphic places, just because I'm a trans mask Latinx person.
Yeah.
And a majority of the time, these sapphic areas and sapphic events, even drag king brunches, sometimes are sapphic events,
Yeah.
and they're mostly dominated by white lesbians. and I don't know what it is, but it just makes like I'm so awkward and weird, and I just don't feel seen and comfortable in those spaces because I've been treated unfairly in those spaces because I'm trans mask and I'm thicker and I'm Latin. So I feel like the little awkward like turtle in the corner. So,
Yeah.
you know, for me to finish this little rant of mine is, make sure that if you're producing a show, make it inclusive to everybody. Make it inclusive to queens, kings, in betweens, AFAB drag queens. Um, make it sober friend. Like, try your best to make it sober friendly. Talk to the staff. Try to make some mocktail recipes. Even if honestly, like, if I had the money, like, and my location did not have any like non-alcoholic spirits, like I would buy the fuck out of it and be like, here, just use it, here, make some mocktails. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Um, because that is very important. We need more sober friendly spaces.
Mhm.
But we also just need more spaces that are mostly inclusive to BIPOC and trans and non-binary folk that want a space to be themselves, that they don't feel categorized or gender pressured to be gender specific, and just have fun and community be the forefront of the event always.
Yeah. You're really good about that. All your shows are. And I feel like the queens that you have a lot, like they have, they have big dick energy in terms of like, they're not like, oh, we have to be the minority in the show. Like, um, only two queens. Like they love that they're in a King's show. They love that like you're the producer and host. They're so supportive. Shout out to like, Cruella Brazil, my Leaky, who's so like supportive of us, and so many others. But like I love that those are the queens that you have that don't feel threatened, don't feel like, oh, Kings. Like it's great. I love that you do that, and that's something I try to do. I stole from you, and
Yeah.
I'm just yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think personally, I think the reason why I love your shows is because it is very similar to my aesthetic with Dabberpuss. But what I love about it is that it genuinely is just a fun union of drag. It's just like everybody is just happy to be there. They're excited to perform amongst each other. And it's just very naturally homey and family like, that it's very nice to go. And especially like for me, that I don't like, this is going to sound really weird to some people, but
I'm ready.
some drag performers don't like always being in clubs.
What do you?
Me.
No, it can be kind of intimidating, and I also feel like that's something that I do. You do with your show, and I do with mine. Is like, yeah, I want it to be fun. I want it. I don't take it seriously. It's drag, okay? My dick is a sock. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. And and I want people that also just love drag because it's just fun and goofy and they have a good time and they don't take themselves too seriously and that are kind. Like I'm just not going to deal with, I don't care if they're talented performers, I'm not going to deal with like assholes in the dressing room that are like causing shit or something. Everyone's just supposed to be happy to be there and have a good
Mm-hmm.
time. That's the point of it. Mine's family friendly because I want everyone to be able to come have a good time. It's light, it's bright. I'm up there on the mic just saying the stupidest things. And
Yeah.
it's just supposed to be a fun time. They're
Mm-hmm.
drag performers. Like, Lord, some people treat it like open heart surgery.
I mean, the thing is, I think this is something that I mean, we've talked about this, but it's just, drag, being queer and being in drag, everybody is already against us. Like, literally, what, in the last month, when I was in Houston, we didn't get kicked out. They threatened us
Yeah.
for having a drag show, and they were like, it's rather you get rid of the drag show and the performer, or you have to find a new venue in 24 hours. And my friends, I'm very lucky for them, and they were just like, no, this is our team member. they're a part of this experience, and we're gonna find a new venue. And like, there's literally a whole Republican world that wants to destroy us, not only as queer people, but as drag performers.
Yes.
So why the fuck are we doing that with each other? And why are we with sticks up our asses, thinking that one form of art is superior to the other, when the best thing we should do, and what our ancestors in the queer community did, were stand together and fight together against the people that wanted to destroy us, that want to put us down, that want to suppress us. And that is something I try to remind everybody, and I try to make sure that the people I book understand that factor, that with unity we could be a better community.
Absolutely. Well, I told you not to go to Texas. I did back.
I have to learn for myself, okay?
That's true, but I'm glad that they ended up, finding another venue and stuff. But I did warn you. But no, you're
did warn me.
right. And art is subjective. If you don't like this work of art, that's fine. Close your mouth and go look at the next one. But be respectful and understand that we're all just trying to put our art out there and help each other. I think it's important.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We all in this together.
I do the dance too.
Oh, same.
Guys, come to me and Johnny's next brunch show, High School Musical edition. It's gonna be
yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I want to I just want to be Sharpay so bad. I know I'm a king, but she is.
Oh my God. No. Oh my God. Do you want to do High School Musical for my Act 2 musical brunch?
Oh, that's right. You're doing a part 2. I mean, I totally would, honestly. Oh yeah, you should play
Ryan and Sharpay.
I would. It's in with the old, or out with the old, in with the new. Hello, skies of wait. Goodbye, skies of gray. Hello, skies of blue.
Well, we have already hit the 1 hour mark, so unfortunately, this conversation has to end.
No, it doesn't. It's honestly, it's going to continue. I'm just going to drive to your apartment in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Unless you drive me to work.
I'll drive you to work. This is our relationship. Anyway.
It's very much our relationship.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Love talking.
Yeah, no, thank you so much to Watson Side for being our special guest on this episode. I think if you want episode 2 about producing, please let us know. We can talk about producing. If you want Watson, maybe bring a threesome into this.
Oh,
we can do that too.
Don't threaten me.
But thank you so much, Watson, for being on this episode. I'm so excited for everybody to listen to this and get to know who you are. Can you tell everybody where they can find you, your show, how they can tip you, all the above?
Where can they find me? You guys can find me. Please follow me on my Instagram, because all that matters to people is Instagram followers. So I'm on Instagram at watson.side. Watson spelled like, Sherlock's buddy, and then side spelled like the side of a building. And then also, no, you know what? Don't tip me. Never mind. We'll get rid of that. But I am on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. Watch my TikToks. Those are unhinged. It's also Watson's Side. And my icon is a clown, so that should help you with that. And also come to shows that I have. I put them all on Instagram. I'm not going to name them all now because I have a life. But please come to them. I always post all my flyers on my Instagram. So please follow me there. That's the best place that you can follow me, because I put all my information there. And some extra special content.
It's pretty good content. It's great content.
I think so.
It makes my day most of the time when I have a boring day at work. So I appreciate that.
Aww,
but yeah, please do me a favor. Yes.
So sweet.
Please go please go and follow Watson's side. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. Please go and support their drag shows. They are the best. They are so fun. So please go to them. Tell your friends. Put it on your grinders. All of the above.
Yes.
Also, come to Dapper Puss every third Saturday of the month at Mama Shelter. If you're ever in LA, please let me know. Happy to give you a discount, especially if you're listening to the podcast. So thank you so much for being a part of this episode. Thank y'all for listening. I really appreciate it. You will hear me the next time I'm able to make an episode. But thank you so much to everybody who has already been listening. Please tell your friends, tell your grandparents, everybody else. Please listen to the episode. Listen to all the season. We are at 5 episodes right now, so you have enough to go through a drive. So,
but mostly listen to my episode.
Yes, mostly listen to Watson's episode because Watson's very important.
Yeah, please.
But thank you so much, Watson, for being a part of this. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's listening or watching. Please do me a favor. Follow us at DapperPussENT on Instagram. Please come to DapperPuss, any of our shows. Also, if you want to donate to helping me get a car back, the link is in my bio.
Yeah, let's get Johnny back on the road. Make LA a less safer place. Do it. You're a great actually.
I love this. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this. I am Johnny Gentleman. I will see you the next time. And like I say, every episode, if you're not supporting Drag Kings and Things, are you really doing drag? I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Behind the Kingdom with Johnny Gentleman. Please do me a favor and follow us on Instagram at DapperPussENT. That's right, DapperPussENT on Instagram. If you have a topic, have a comment, or anything in between, please do me a favor and email us at dapperpuss@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram. If you want to follow all of our amazing guests, please do me a favor and go and look at the links on our bio. Look at our websites at dapperpussdk.com. And at the end of the day, if you're not supporting Drag Kings and Things, are you really doing drag? I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.